One of the more intriguing things about the NBA's regular season is there's enough time for the paths of certain teams to twist and turn and run into each other in ways no one could have expected. Certainly when the league tipped off back in December, we had no way of knowing that Clippers-Suns games would be particularly remarkable. And yet here we are in April with the two clubs having all kinds of grudges against each other and a game tonight in Phoenix that has both seeding and bragging rights on the line. Kawhi Leonard unlikely to play in this one. He is still nursing a sore foot. But Paul George appears ready to go, and he's the one with the personal stake. It was during a game back in January that Devin Booker called PG, quote, soft, among some other things I can't say on TV. Both players got technicals, but it didn't end there. The next time the teams met, PG again said he heard a lot of, quote, chirping from the Suns, part of a larger wave of disrespect that he said he's been facing since his uneven performance in the bubble last summer. Apparently, that disrespect has been so pervasive that even DeMarcus Cousins, who only just joined the team 3 weeks ago, has already seen enough to say that the rest of the league needs to, quote, stop the PG slander. And he is right. Paul has been on just an absolute fire tear for much of the past month, leading the Clips to win 11 of their past 13. Still, both Boogie and Paul have been around long enough to know the only real way to rewrite the book on the Clippers is for the team to perform better in the postseason, which brings us back to the whole seeding thing. I know it's very fashionable to say that where you end up in the playoff bracket just doesn't matter, and for some teams that's true. Hey, Michael Jordan's Bulls didn't always have the top seed, but they did have Michael Jordan. So, yeah, they were fine. Then again, sometimes seeding matters a lot. You know that mid-90s Knicks-Pacers series when Reggie scored 8 points in 9 seconds? What people don't always remember is that New York was the 3 seed that year, which meant the Knicks ran into Indiana way earlier in the bracket than they wanted to, and it cost them with an early playoff exit. There's potential for that same sort of scenario in the West this season. The Jazz have had a hold of the top seed for 85 straight days.
Wow.
But that grip is now being challenged by both the Suns, who are just a game back on Utah, and the Clippers, who are just a game back on Phoenix. Whichever of these 3 teams end up with the West top 2 seeds will have an advantage. Their first-round playoff matchups will be against 7 and 8 seeds, who will be a bit worn down from having to go through the play-in tournament. But whichever team finishes in that 3 spot, that team would have to face the 6th seed, which right now would be the Dallas Mavericks. That same Dallas Mavericks team that torched Steph Curry and the Warriors last night as Luka Doncic scored 39 points in 28 minutes. Now, I am not saying Dallas, I know. I'm not saying Dallas would be the favorite in any series they played, but I also wouldn't want to see Luka in the first round, especially if I was a Clippers team carrying the extra weight of atoning for last year. Winning in Phoenix tonight would go a long way toward helping LA move up, although, of course, that would mean the Suns moving down, and they, too, are very motivated to avoid that. Chris Paul has managed to wrestle Father Time to the ground these past 2 seasons, but he's turning 36 next week, and even, yes, the great aforementioned Michael Jordan did not win a title past the age of 35. All in all, the scene is set for a fantastic game tonight. It's the result of some twists and turns we never saw coming, but that just makes the end of the journey even more fun. And Vince, I want to go to you first. These 2 teams, which team needs the top seed in the West more, Suns or Clippers?
Clippers, hands down, it's the Clippers. For all of the things you just said, and I believe with everything that happened to them last year, all of the expectations, not playing well in the bubble, PG, having a rough bubble and playoffs in general, they need this. You laid it out perfectly. They want to get where the road is set to get to the Western Conference Finals. And we all want to see Clippers. We all want to see the Lakers and want to see that matchup, LeBron versus Kawhi, so on and so forth. So I think for them, this is a big game for the Clippers, regardless of who's in the lineup. Yes, you want Kawhi out there, but you look for the Clippers tonight to exploit as many opportunities as possible, because this is a big win if they can pull it off.
It's Vince, I love you, and I've loved you for a long time. But you're
from Phoenix, so I know where you're going. Go ahead.
You're wrong. This is why you're wrong. The Clippers don't need more pressure. They don't need the number 1 seed on them. That's pressure. We're talking about them avoiding playing this person or avoiding playing this person, but we want the number 1 seed because we want everyone to look at us. That is not what they want. What they want to do is they want to be playing the best version of basketball. And I'm not big. Look, you want a favorable matchup in the first round, right? Because you want to tee yourself up. But after that, If your goal is to win a championship, you need to be looking at every team in the league like, what's up? Let's go. Because that's what it is. There is no more avoiding. Is there a favorable matchup? There's no favorable matchups in the conference finals. There's no favorable matchups in the NBA finals. So, yes, you might want that in the first round. But even ultimately, if you get a monster in the first round and your goal is to win a championship, if you want to win a championship, it doesn't matter if you got to go Lakers, Suns, Milwaukee Bucks, and then Philly. That's not even possible.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.